Please welcome Patrick Osborne.
Hello and welcome to Barcelona. I almost just dropped my microphone coming up here, so we're off to a great start. So my name is Patrick Osborne. I'd like to welcome here to the show. Also, a really special welcome to, I have some great co-presenters today. So Varma is going to be joining me. I have some great industry leaders here from Danfoss and Spar to help tell some of their story and how they're partnering with HPE for their success. And so just thanks in advance for choosing to spend the time with us for the next 45 minutes. I lead our hybrid cloud technology acceleration organization, and this gives me the ability to speak with a lot of customers and partners, just like yourself, every single day, facing a lot of the same issues, right? We're hearing this over and over in the conference today. Some themes around the great VM reset, right? Security, and certainly what folks are doing and investing in AI. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the announcements we made this week. We'll also talk about the way we're partnering with some customers, right? And so you get some really valid and timely use cases on how you can take some of this technology and help yourself. But to set some context, as leaders in the room that are help changing, drive change within your organization around everything that software touches, so infrastructure, operations, engineering, you're under a considerable amount of pressure to deliver that innovation, control costs, right, which is a big thing I'm hearing. Show of hands, how many people in the room here have an increased budget next year for your IT? Maybe a couple? Yeah, so you got to do more. You got to do more or less. We're under the same pressure as well too, right? So we have to certainly help out with delivering quite a bit of innovation. We'll talk a little bit later about aligning the innovation and the needs with the business needs, right? It's a huge alignment issue, and certainly keep demands pace with demands, especially in the face of a lot of change going on in your industry. And so we know there's a lot of significant obstacles in the way to do that. Managing a hybrid environment, it's complex. IT friction slows progress. There's a lot of rising costs around cloud and virtualization. Most of the conversations I've had today and yesterday with customers is usually around legacy systems, right? What we call brownfield, right? So how you can take new technology, right, and adopt that while you're still managing what you have in your data centers today, which is very complex. And then also data, right? Data is super critical to your business, yet it's scattered around multiple repositories, multiple silos. It's difficult to secure. It's hard to unlock when you're using for AI. We hear this theme over and over. And so AI, it really holds a lot of transformative potential for customers, but it definitely introduces new requirements, right? So if you have an operations team, right, and they're being asked to support, brand new business critical or mission critical AI pipelines, right? This is very new for teams, right? So they have to learn how to do that. They have to operationalize that in their data center. And so imagine having a foundation that you need to not just manage the complexity and the risk, right, but to lead your business forward faster, smarter, and with confidence, right? So you can go and certainly outpace your competitors in your field. And with that right foundation, this is what becomes possible, right? You can fast track your AI initiatives, you can deliver faster and turn potential into results. You will be able to optimize costs, enhance agility and boost efficiency of your teams, right, in a hybrid IT environment, enabling your team to do more that's affecting your business as opposed to just managing your IT environment. We hear this over and over, like, I want to reskill my folks. I don't want them doing management of systems on a daily basis. So your data, right, it's going to remain secure and private, even as you unlock that full potential of AI-driven insights. You'll stay ahead of disruptions, as we hear a lot of concern, especially in the world of security, around disruptions, risk mitigation, compliance. And one of the key things we've heard this week at the conference is the demands of data sovereignty, right? How do you keep that data local, whether it's for your own design or whether that's regulation and compliance? And you can do all of this without meeting a beat with this foundation. And so for us to achieve this with our customers and our partners, you need more than just a strategy. You need more of a modern foundation that's built on transformation. And this foundation is really what we've been working on for the last 5 years with GreenLake, right? And so, I did a couple of customer advisory boards here this week. I do them every year at Discover, and it's almost like a little bit boring to come up and talk about the same strategy that we've implemented, that we're going on the same road every year, right? But it's really, really powerful. GreenLake is our strategy. It's the cloud that's delivering this unified platform experience that allows enterprises to simplify their IT, reduce your costs, and transform faster. And we achieve this by helping our customers do a couple things, right? And we've been on this journey for a while. The amount of innovation that we built into the GreenLake platform over the last 5 years is astounding. And Varma is going to take you through some of the recent updates, but it's a very sound strategy, and we continue to execute on this strategy for our customers, allowing them to do a couple key things. Streamlining IT operations, right? We hear this every day. What can I do to automate and innovate on managing my systems so that the folks on my team can go focus on tasks and strategies that are relevant to my business, okay? Next, what can I do to unify and secure my data, right? One of the biggest things we hear around AI projects is being able to bring all your data together, being able to classify your data, and then make that secure but accessible for some of these new style of applications. We see this internal to HPE all the time. Our customers are saying the same thing. And then at the end of the day, what can I do to accelerate this value, right, with the platform? And so for us, all of this has been in service of our customers and some of these key initiatives, and we are getting recognized for this in the industry, right? So we feel that the platform-led architecture for GreenLake and everything we're doing around AI, compute, networking, storage, the cloud operational model, the cloud consumption model, starts and ends with our GreenLake cloud platform, and we're being recognized for that in the industry. So HPE is a leader in the brand new infrastructure platform consumption services, according to Gartner in the Magic Quadrant. This is a position that I'm very, very personally proud of, because we've been on this mission for a little bit over 5 years, and this is a conglomeration of some of the things that we've been doing in service for our customers for a long time across many aspects of our portfolio. And this allows us to set ourselves apart, right? When you see some of the folks on there, what sets us apart is the breadth and the depth of the cloud services and our ability to deliver a unified experience, right, across all of our products. So whether you're deploying compute, bare metal as a service, whether you're doing network as a service, whether you're doing storage as a service, DR as a service, database as a service, et cetera, as a service is a foundation on which our customers have come to know and continue to rely on HPE for with the GreenLake platform. But we didn't stop there. And so we've built out operational capabilities, and we've layered on value-added services such as consumption analytics, the HPE Sustainability Insights Center, right? Sustainability is a huge issue for a number of our customers, very top of mind. And these services all work together to deliver outcomes that are tied to the business requirements, and you can very plainly see that in what we're delivering in the GreenLake cloud platform. And so for us, it's about helping our customers accelerate innovation as they optimize costs, manage your capacity, and that capacity can be on-prem, it could be in a colo, it could be in an edge environment, it can be in the public cloud, and see how their infrastructure is doing. Is it healthy? What can I do to help optimize that? All through a single experience, right? You can go to greenlake.hpe.com, create yourself an account, and see all of these experiences firsthand for yourself through demos, through your actual product deployment. And this is why, so this is what our customers see, which is why we want to hear directly from our customers that have really bought into the GreenLake cloud platform and use this to fundamentally change how they're doing IT in service of their business needs. So with that, I would love to welcome up Sune from Danfoss to help come talk to us. So give them a round of applause here. See you right here.
Thank you.
So welcome to the stage. Maybe you can give a quick introduction to the folks out here about yourself and your business.
For sure I can. Hi everyone, my name is Sune. I'm the CIO in Danfoss, a Danish headquartered company, family owned. We're in manufacturing engineering. We have sales in 108 countries worldwide, just south of 100 factories. So we're on a mission to do more with less from a sustainability perspective in all of the branches that we are in. So we're in mobile hydraulics, so when you see those big machines out there on the field, tractors, excavators, 2/3 of the value in many of those machines, that's our products. So it's mechanics, it's electronics, it's the equivalents to CAN bus systems, digital connected. We're in cooling and heating technologies, so cooling, buildings, food, supermarkets, heating houses, district energy grids, a lot of intelligence steering all of those things in an optimized energy perspective. And then we're in power electronics and drives, so silicon. When we look at that, when you control engine speed on a lot of electrical applications. So I'd say a pretty wide portfolio. And what all of that has in common is that we want to optimize that from an energy perspective. We want to make sure that we create a more sustainable world to live in.
That's great. That's fantastic. So you've been on the GreenLake journey for some time now, which is fantastic. So when you think about moving from thinking about IT as like a cost center, right, as an operational cost center, to someone who's a value creation partner for your business, how do you think about that?
Well, I think we'll probably never get out of having to optimize cost. I was a little depressed seeing that few amount of hands raising up that you have more budgets, right? But we're in the same situation. So I think things have shifted over the years. We need to be able to do both. We need to step up on the value deliveries, and at the same time, we need to optimize our cost. And in Danfoss, with our digital journey, that actually started out with putting down a couple of principles around how we want to transform our company digitally. So we want to make sure that we always focus at increasing customer experience, and we want to make sure that we increase efficiency, both within the company, but also with the partners that we work with. And all of that on a secure platform. So when we had to embark on that journey, the partners that we were looking for were partners that would help us actually exact that business impact. And that was why we turned towards HPE, because we could see that in the world that we're living in, and all of the things that we have commonly just went through over the last, let's just say, plus 10 years, I think many of us have experienced rapid growth. And we had the pandemic coming up, where all of us had to close down, and then we were opening up in this country, we were closing down in this country, and on the backside of the pandemic, we saw all of this dynamic in the world. Supply chains were disrupted, and we see some of that now again.
I had to homeschool 4 kids, Sune, so
yeah,
it was very disruptive.
It's hard to beat that one. But the world is not different now, so when we look at the dynamics that we have with localizing supply chains, we were on the outlook for a partner that could help us when we had those dynamics in our business. How can we spin up workloads in this part of the world and we can take them down standardized? We can spin them up in another country. And that was where GreenLake came into play, because GreenLake gives you all of that. GreenLake gives you this strong platform, no matter if you have it in your own data centers or if you have it in co-location data centers. You have the possibility to move your workloads. You have the possibility to consume standardized services across that ecosystem. And your business can actually, it can grow together with it. So very strong value proposition.
That's great. So basically, aligning the business needs with IT flexibility and operational excellence. So you mentioned when you did the intro a little bit about sustainability. This is obviously very top of mind for you in particular in your company. Liquid cooling, reuse of heat in your modular data centers. You've actually been a co-developer of some of the sustainability dashboards that we provide in GreenLake. So how has this impacted Danfoss's environmental goals? How do you report this back to your customers and your board?
Well, we report on sustainability goals just like we report on financial goals in Danfoss. So we're kept accountable on the sustainable side as well. And I think if there is something that I would like to give you to take away from this from a sustainability perspective, it's 3 small steps. It's reducing your energy consumption. It's making sure that you reuse the energy that you already have. And then it's about resourcing for green energy. And you have to do it in that order. Because if you first reduce your energy consumption, it's typically half the cost per unit than as if you will have to go and source more renewables. It's not that we want to stop that journey. Then you want to reuse the energy. And in the data center space, that means excess heat. So like in a city like Frankfurt, there is more excess heat from data centers than the need for heat in residential homes. So if we can just reuse that heat in our own headquarters, where we run HPE GreenLake with a service from you, we actually heat 25% of 250,000 square meters just with the excess heat from our own data center as a standard service coming from HPE. And then it's about sourcing green, that we make sure that we don't continue to step up the challenge on carbon. So I think make sure that you reduce. You can also do that with HPE. I just read this morning that the new Gen 12 series has a 1:7 ratio compared to old servers. So if you do that across that full value chain, you actually have a very good impact, and it's financial attractive for you also because the payback time is very, very low.
So IT aligning with some of your business goals, right? It's a great example. Some of the other themes that we've talked about and heard at the conference here this week are around data sovereignty, repatriation, right? On-premises data management, either because it's a regulated industry or whatnot. How is GreenLake helping you prepare for AI adoption and some of these topics?
Well, first of all, because we put all of that enterprise data into the GreenLake platform, we have it at hand. We have it structured at hand. We have it at hand with performance for an eye. So now with our PCAI that we'll place just next to our ERP systems, to our engineering systems, we don't have to copy the data north-south anymore. We can copy them east-west. We can access them anytime. We're not locked into a framework where that framework kind of, the taxometer ticks every time you want to do the next step. I think we all learned that from the journey to public cloud, that it's easy getting in, it's difficult getting out. With GreenLake, that's different, right? Because you're in control, you have that within your ecosystem, you can move it from your own data centers to co-location. So depending on your strategy, you really get all of the benefits from the public cloud without signing up to all of the downsides.
And that's the strategy. I know that you have had some customer roundtables, with some of your peers in the industry. This is a big topic, right, for you,
It is.
Controlling costs and getting visibility. So on the controlling cost theme, right, I know that you're transitioning some of your virtualization environment to VME and Morpheus and some of the stack that we provide around that. What are some of the main challenges, and how did we help support you, not only on the technology side, but also on the cost side, from getting from the point A to point B, which isn't always a straight line, right?
Right. I think for the last 1 year, it has been difficult meeting another CIO and then having a talk about IT and cost and without talking about VMware.
Yeah.
And we looked into the same challenge in Danfoss. So we turned towards you and said, what can we do about this? We saw that you had the KVM technologies available from the purchase. And for us, it makes sense to first look at this from an architectural point of view. Can we simplify the architecture? Can we take out complexity? Most companies die because of increased complexity. They don't die because of competition. And I think that's the same in the IT departments. We die because of complexity over time. The second thing is that we were on the outlook for something that wouldn't increase our cost over time. And I think we saw this morning in the session with Sherry that we actually have a drop-off pricing after we are through the transition. So the transition is a cost avoidance thing. And we were not afraid of stepping in as early movers on this together with HPE, because we've seen in the GreenLake journey that we were on together, we embarked very early. And there are bumps on the way when you are first movers, but there are also a lot of opportunities if you have a partner that really listens to your needs. And we have that partner with HPE, so we can be very transparent about problems. We don't have to talk about if it's a challenge, we have to talk about when can we get it solved.
Yep, absolutely.
And you solved that for us, right? So for us, it's about having that lower complexity, and it's about dropping the cost also strategically over time. And we get all of that with the VME transition. And we are good on our way, more than 100 proof of concepts we've done, and we're rolling, I think, just around about 1,000 servers here over the next quarter. And then the next are set to go over the years to come.
Yep, and then you can use those savings for things that really impact your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Well, everyone, how about a big round of applause for Sune? Thanks for sharing your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And so what I'd like to do now is invite Varma up to the stage, one of my great compatriots, and he's going to take you through some of the innovations that we announced this week at Discover for hybrid cloud. So let's welcome Varma.
Thanks, Patrick.
Great job.
Thanks. That was a great interview between Sony and Patrick, showcasing what the GreenLake journey for some of the enterprise customers that we partnered with. With that, let me give you a quick picture on if you are an enterprise customer and you have heard about GreenLake, it means, HPE is the only company in this space trying to kind of solve this problem of a cloud operating model delivered, to your edge to cloud infrastructure. It's not just bringing that public cloud kind of an experience across your entire infrastructure is the mission with which HPE started building this cloud platform. So let's go take a look at what that looks like. At the end of the day, you are delivering applications to your end customers. They could be cloud native, they could be AI native applications. Now, to power those applications, you have a choice of runtime. Sometimes you run these applications on bare metal. Sometimes you run these applications on hypervisor. HPE's VME, which you heard before, is a choice. Kubernetes, HPE also has a Kubernetes stack for running these applications. And some cases, they are totally running on bare metal. Now, you take a look at those things, and those infrastructure and applications are running on a variety of infrastructure, whether it's compute, hardware, storage, network, and sometimes it is HPE, sometimes it's non-HPE, multi-vendor, multi-cloud. Now, if you look at all of that and look at the locations footprint, where you have infrastructure in a retail branch running on a store, all the way to the public cloud. And all of that needs to be managed for you giving an application availability to your end customers. At the end of the day, the business units are looking at IT as a service provider. Their goal and their mission is, every IT mission is to make sure that they're not embarrassed by the business unit coming and saying, do you know my store is not running? Do you know my application is not running? So that's the mission that HPE took up by organically investing into the GreenLake platform, and then inorganic acquisitions that we made in the form of OpsRamp, Morpheus, Cloud Physics, a number of assets that we assembled as a software stack to deliver the full stack from the day of the workload coming to life till the day that the workload is decommissioned. The entire operations management that you need, from IT ops, FinOps, sustainability, footprint, visibility to your sustainability and carbon footprint, all of that is delivered with one single integrated platform that we call as a GreenLake platform. That's the mission with which HPE is making an investment. If you look at that stack, you wanted to kind of, first of all, discover all your assets across edge to cloud, across multi-vendor. Then you wanted to kind of understand how to provision those applications. We have Morpheus, which gives you provisioning and orchestration and automation. Then you have observability, which is in the form of OpsRamp, which gives full stack observability from infrastructure all the way to the applications. Then you wanted to analyze and remediate some of the incidents that are coming across this application stack and optimize. That's the GreenLake platform that we are bringing it as a cloud operating model to our partners as well as end enterprises. Now, if you look at this assembly of all this technology, what we announced this week with the capabilities that we are bringing from any location, any vendor, any infrastructure in the form of software stacks consists of a few nuggets that we wanted to speak to, right? You can consume these software pieces as your needs come from edge to cloud management needs. The number one piece is CloudOps software suite, and I'll talk more about it, where we bringing OpsRamp, Morpheus, and Zerto together into one single piece. Then our cloud physics, those of you who use cloud physics to do assessments, to understand if you are a partner, you wanted to kind of assess an end customer's hypervisor footprint, VMware, or any other hypervisor footprint to understand what that workload look like, Cloud Physics gives, and we have enhanced that with Cloud Physics Plus to give you a lot more capability to non-VMware environments to discover and do. Then we also announced Cloud Commit, which is like hyperscalers, and I'll talk more about it. GreenLake Intelligence, you heard from Antonio this morning about bringing an agentic framework for operational optimization for your environment. Last but not the least, the marketplace, GreenLake Marketplace. These are the big pieces of announcements that we are bringing together in this forum. Now, everything we announced today is designed to help unify and take action on your infrastructure with AI-driven, hybrid first. We are not just cloud only, we're not HPE only, multi-vendor, multi-cloud footprint that you have in your environment. Now, let's go take a look at how we are bringing these innovations together in ways that you can plan and continue to kind of leverage this for your next things. So let's go take a look at the first piece of the puzzle is CloudOps software suite. Here, we're bringing together OpsRamp, Morpheus, and Zerto with one single integrated SKU that you can consume. This is generally available. You can order, as a software suite, and then you have flexibility to leverage how much of Morpheus, how much of Zerto, how much of OpsRamp you wanted to use. So we have some mechanics to kind of really allow you to consume that observability, orchestration, and protection of all of your software footprints. That's the first piece that we bring it to you. You can run it yourself, or we can make HPE run for you as a SaaS/managed service for you, managed for you for the software stack, so that you don't need to manage the management stack again, right? That's number one. Number two, take a look at the second piece of the puzzle here is, I'm going to skip through, and you have a lot of announcements that you saw around the CloudOps suite today. We have integrated with Juniper's Apstra. OpsRamp has a lot of announcements on that, and you can go take a look at on this HPE software booth that exists on the Discover floor to take a look at what the innovations that we brought there. The second piece of the puzzle here is around Cloud Commit program. Our new Cloud Commit program is similar to what customers already are familiar with hyperscalers. It is very simple. You basically give a commitment for over 3 years. Customer can get best pricing, and you don't need to decide how you wanted to consume it upfront. GreenLake growth and comprehensive catalog of hybrid cloud services that we offer can all be consumed against that commit program. That's the number two, and you can get more details on this from the show floor. Cloud Commit is generally available right now to really optimize, maximize your TCO and give you spend flexibility. The next one that I wanted to talk about is Cloud Physics Plus. It is an assessment service. It gives you insights. It gives you unified dashboards. It gives you decision support for figuring out where and how you wanted to optimize your virtual machine footprint, right? It not only discovers VMware-oriented with our Cloud Physics Plus, it extends to other hypervisors that are there in the environment. Then the last but one, is the marketplace. We are launching an all-new GreenLake marketplace, primarily to enable e-commerce experience for an ecosystem of software partners that we wanted to bring. Just like any other cloud marketplace, you have a mechanism to kind of consume industry-leading software providers through this marketplace. We will validate some of these solutions, third-party solutions coming from HPE, so that you have the comfort that these applications work in your environment along with the HPE environments that you have. And it is easy to procure through to derive time to value from the environment. Our software partners will tremendously benefit from this reach, because GreenLake has a large footprint. You heard from Antonio, we have thousands of customers on GreenLake. So those customers, for ISV partners, it's a mechanism to reach, go to market to HPE's GreenLake customers. GreenLake Intelligence, this is new in terms of capabilities that we wanted to provide for bringing agentic automation framework across the entire HPE. It is multi-domain. It cuts across compute, storage, network, and being able to grow that agentic automations. And it is released. You can see the demo on the show floor. So it allows you to kind of integrate into your MCP or agent-to-agent protocols to do automations that, the three use cases that we are showcasing there one is root cause, agentic root causing, wellness dashboard, and sustainability dashboard, where you drive agentic automations to give the uptime and mean time to resolve improvements. With that, I would like to invite Tom, Dr. Tom from SPAR, to kind of on the stage to kind of share his story on the GreenLake framework. Come.
Thank you.
Tom, you've been with SPAR. Introduce yourself and the company for our customers and partners in the room here.
Cool. Yeah. Thank Vaga. Thanks for having me today. I'm Tom. I'm working for SPAR Austria. I mean, you've seen probably the video in the opening keynote. We're in the retail business, doing grocery retail business in the center of Europe. So we are headquartered in Austria, but also run the business in Slovenia, Croatia, northern part of Italy, Hungary, right? Running roughly 3,500 stores there, and being the dominant player in the retail market there. This is the first pillar of the company. Second one is sports and fashion retailing. Completely different business. However, a big number of stores anyhow, different brand, so it's not SPAR, it's called Hervis. So it's something very special, particularly tailored to sports and fashion. Third pillar of the company, to make it a little bit more complex, is in all those countries we also develop, run, operate big shopping centers. So more or less the hosting for all the stores we have fits pretty well together. However, makes the whole story pretty complex. So in those three areas, the business has been developing over the past, I don't know, 25, 30 years extremely. So we were running to the leading company in those countries. So we were always following up the speed of the business. So we were always behind, something like that. So this was more or less our primary challenge. So always to cope with the pace of the business. So bringing me to my first challenge is like we always had to fill in one gap of the whole puzzle, and so the whole puzzle wasn't really a solid, sound picture. It was like more like, pieces here, pieces there, and again the business steps ahead, and then the next piece, and the next, and the next, and the next, and the next, so on. So we came to the point that we would have to do something different, right? And that was the point when we stepped into our collaboration and cooperation, right?
Congratulations on your growth and and having different levels of retail, one on the food, one on the fashion industry, and going. So given that, for any IT in your role where you are managing large retail locations, having the confidence that the store can be opened, with confidence that the store is live, everything that you need to kind of make the store run is live. So it's a big challenge. So tell me a little bit about the complexity that you need to manage. You have edge to cloud infrastructure. You have retail locations that are across the world, across many countries.
Europe, at least, yeah.
Many European locations. Tell me the complexity of IT challenges that you face in this distributed IT, environments and mission critical time. If the store cannot be opened, it has a revenue impact.
Absolutely. If the store is not open, you don't have any revenue, and you will never get it back. This is the challenge number one, primary one, number one. But it's not just about the stores, of course. I mean, we have to open the stores. It's also about making the products available to the stores. So it's all about the logistics. So if you look a little bit into the company, we are a big logistics provider. With a lot of warehouses, and even we do have own production plants, producing meat, sausages, bread, wine, and all that stuff. And that all needs to be more or less orchestrated in order to then being delivered to the stores and being made available to the customers. So this drives the complexity, having this whole complex concert under control with all the many things that happen during a normal operational day. So that's more or less the real challenge there.
Okay. Now tell me a little bit about your journey, or tell our audience about your journey with HPE and GreenLake, and what you did with GreenLake partnership, in your environment for your IT complexities and challenges.
Sure. I mean, the partnership and the relationship with HPE isn't just like since GreenLake is there. So we've been partnering with HPE for a very long time. Really very long time. So HPE was in the game when we're providing our infrastructures and data centers with basic servers and all that stuff. With GreenLake, the story changed completely, right? So this was the first time we understood that not just filling, as I mentioned before, filling one hole in the whole puzzle with a piece of infrastructure from some provider, but really getting the whole story managed out of one hand. So reducing the complexity on our side. This was this inflection and turning point for us, where we understood if we take further steps in this area, we can free up our own resources, capabilities, competencies, intelligence, energy, people in the end, to solve the problems our business is facing. And this is typical of not running an infrastructure, but it's conquering the market, giving our customers the best experience they can get in the retail area. This is where we try to push our energy into. Right?
Fantastic. I think Suni also mentioned in the previous conversation, complexity is the killer. Absolutely. At the end of the day, if you don't reduce the complexity, you don't improve your operational efficiency and deliver what you need to deliver. Any interview is not complete without AI question. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what your journey with AI, and how are you looking at AI, and if you have one magic wish with AI, what would that look like for your IT needs and your business needs?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, our relationship with AI is pretty young, I would say. I mean, this Gen AI stuff really came up just a few years ago. We've been doing analytical stuff really for a pretty long time. However, this key AI challenge for which we need GPUs and all that stuff is pretty young on the market. However, we are pretty well accustomed to dealing with how to optimize, for example, the provisioning of food and providing food and products to the stores. If we take the term AI a little bit in a broader sense, then we're in that game for at least 20 years, because this is a core element of ERP processes in the retail area. So if we zoom a little bit in, the AI stuff can be really that great game changer we're all waiting for, because I mean, solving this experience equation for the customer, there is the AI playing a pivotal role in that. So this is, I think, one of the turning points that we can go into and leverage if we master this AI job properly. So just take an example. We are doing a various number of experiments in our stores doing AI magic stuff like, we have scales. And typically when you enter a retail store and you want to weigh some goods, fresh goods, on a way you have to remember the number of the good, and you put the product on the way, and then you have to press the right buttons or the right number and all that stuff. In this place, AI in the term of image recognition helps us a lot. So we do have installed some experimental ways where the products are identified automatically, easing the life of the customer, making his experience much better. And this is exactly the turning point we want to emphasize here, right?
Changing the experience, user experience.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tom. I know we are running a little bit behind the schedule here, but appreciate your insight. Those of you who have been in the room, one takeaway that I would like all of you to remember is HPE's CloudOps, cloud operating model with GreenLake is not just about managing the HPE infrastructure alone, but being able to kind of touch multi-vendor, multi-cloud estates so that you can deliver the outcomes that you need to deliver for your end customers. Thank you, Dr. Tom.
Thank you.
Appreciate your partnership.
Pleasure.
With that, looking forward to do.
Thank you.
I wanted to invite Patrick to come back and close the session here.
Thank you, Varma.
Thank you.
How about a big round of applause for Varma and Dr. Tom? So you've heard some consistent themes here around streamlining IT operations, unifying and securing your data, accelerating the AI value, some great use cases there. I think the themes that we're seeing here at the conference so far around data sovereignty, sustainability, certainly cost containment. How can I reskill the folks on my team so they're not doing, basically repeatable management tasks to things that are very relevant to our business? And how can you get, truly a cloud operational model? This is what we've built as a foundation with GreenLake, right? We're managing close to 5 million infrastructure endpoints. We've got close to 50,000 customers on the platform. We're managing close to 10 exabytes of storage in service of our customers. And that's only going to get better with the integration of Mist and Juniper and what we're doing for AI for networking and networking for AI. So if you really want to change your business, not just from an IT perspective, but how that aligns to your business goals, GreenLake is a fantastic way to build that foundation for you. And I would say that if you want to go out and do some more research, one of the best things to do is go talk to some of our subject matter experts, right? We've organized the show floor on these themes, right? What you can do to be successful and have a very good ROI for some of your AI operations. Everyone's getting disrupted by this great VM reset, right? Security is always a huge top of mind for our customers. And so we have the ability, whether it's through sessions or you go down to the show floor and see some of the demos of the technology live in action with really valid customer use cases. I challenge you all to go find some of the folks here that are subject matter experts, and you can go see some of the results firsthand. So I just want to thank everyone for coming to the session, and thanks Varma and Dan Foss and Spar for sharing their stories and how GreenLake's impacted them. And have a great show, and thanks for coming to Barcelona. So thank you so much for coming.